just thought about something. Excuse me, I just finished eating a burger. Not that great. But anyways, I was just thinking, like, it takes more than one person to create chaos and dysfunction. It takes everyone to create chaos and dysfunction because we're all sharing that experience. We're all either in it or witnessing it, but it takes all of us to be in it together or to be witnessing it together. You know what I mean? It's like people were up there in terms of our intellectual capacity and our spiritual awareness and our emotional intellect. We were up there. And the minute we created systems, institutions, and structures, we descended into chaos. We descended further and further down the rabbit hole of chaos because it was like a descent into madness. Like, it's like a mad creation. These systems and structures and institutions and rules, because it's mad creation because it's antithetical to the fundamental concept of creation. It's for the sake of just doing it. And here everything is exploited. Creation intelligence in every capacity is exploited. Creative intelligence, scientific intelligence, spatial intelligence, sports intelligence, music intelligence, all of that has just been exploited in so many different ways, and it's all in a made up thing. This is not real. And I say this to remind myself more than to remind other people or to tell other people, because it requires so much of your attention and a twisted form of your attention. It requires your attention, but in giving it your attention, it requires you to be in a specific state, which is fearful, heavy, overburdened, overwhelmed, distressed. And then that's when you're giving this institution, this whole system, your attention, the kind of attention it wants, the kind of attention it needs to feed and to thrive. Because every living thing on this planet Earth likes attention. Even if the frequency, the longevity doesn't matter. Everything likes attention. And attention can come from different things. Attention is what the sun gives to the trees. It's what the soil gives to the trees. It's what the birds give to the insects and the trees. There's too many infinite symbiotic relationships in nature, and that's what makes that's what makes the whole experience so grounding. If you connect back into it, but the system has flipped everything on its head to where now it's like it wants you to do the opposite of that, but that opposite is both destructive, chaotic, a mad form of creation, and antithetic and completely opposite to who you are. You're not designed to live in a mad creation because it's beneath you, and it morphs you and contorts you and limits you and constricts you into all these different things that you are not and that you never are, because you're constantly changing every instant of every instant. And here it's like this world that we're living in right now. It's like everything is compartmentalized, categorized, sorted, A, B, C, like lists and order, but there's no order to creation. There's no fashion. There's a pattern, but there's no rhyme or reason. It just is, for the sake of it, for the hell of it. you'll see so many different patterns that occur in nature and that appear in different things, like that golden circle on the shell of a snail. Oh, well, these are all snails, but on the shell of a snail, like a land snail, and then like a shell crab, or I don't know, other things that naturally, or sometimes trees will like form that spiral in the way that they grow. And that's it marvels people to think of that or to find out things like that, because it's like, wow, that it touches on something that we all deeply feel, which is interconnectedness. Because that, in that analogy I just made, it shows that it gives us the sense that is there like some connection between like snails and like trees and whatever, and you're like, but no, they're completely opposite types of living organisms. So no, so it makes you think that there's something deeper to it, and that's the whole essence of creation. It's to give people a world, your world, amongst many infinite worlds, including theirs. But it's an opportunity to give people your world and to show them how you understand it and what you think about it. And that's the beauty of creation and relationships and bonding with people and socializing. It's you get to interact with all these different ideas and minds. There's nothing that nature loves more than different. It's just different, everything different iterations of the same thing, but having such infinite representations of itself. And that's what humanity has. We're all different iterations of each other, like we're different iterations of the same thing, but everything about us, we channel it so differently from one another, and that's what makes us different in the physical world. But deep down, we're all the same. And the thing is, the whole reason I even thought to make this video was because I said something while I was thinking. I was like, all this time I've been telling myself, like, yo, I'm gonna do this degree because, like, I want security and freedom and time when I'm older, and I am told that I have to go through education and go to university, do well in university, do all the things necessary to get a job, pay for all the insurances and all the policies and all the deaths, the lives, the births, the whatever have yous, and then what I can take back home. It's up to me how I spend it. And then, you can save some of that so you can have a big old bash where you get to travel once a year to another country or another location, really. And that's the big rest that you get, and you're so lucky and privileged to get that rest, that very brief rest out of 365 days, 22 days. Yeah. And I would always tell myself, like, yeah, I know, like, I want to make money. So to make money, I got to get a good job. To get a good job, I have to study a sensible degree. To acquire a sensible degree, I have to put in the work to pass well enough to acquire this degree. And it was a whole step-by-step linear process that I could conceive in my mind of what my future looks like. But beyond that, that was all I was thinking constantly, 24/7, and all the problems and things that were around me, projections that were around me, blame that wasn't mine, responsibility that was put onto me that was never mine, and juggling all of that while still trying to focus on my studies and just keep drilling forward and hustling, pushing forward. But then, yeah, things changed, and now I'm realizing, like, that this whole thing is made up. And someone else says to participate in this thing, in this system, you have to go through that linear step-by-step process. But I have to believe that in order for that to be true. Because because they're so, even though I'm living in a mad creation and it's someone else's mad creation, I still have creative control. I just need to get back to a place where I fully believe that. And it requires stillness and patience and reflection and honesty with oneself and compassion to oneself and unconditional love to oneself. You can't get through any kind of healing by hating yourself. You can't hate yourself through healing. Even the things that make you cringe, all the things you remember that you did that make you cringe, now when you think back on them, cringe in deep shame or like mild shame or like, oh my gosh, that was a funny story. I got lost in the analogy. But all those things aren't real. In that moment, you can become so aware of yourself that you're like, but wait, no, this shame isn't real, because if I don't know, I don't know. If I don't understand, I don't understand. If I need a little bit of extra help understanding, then that's my truth and that's my tea, and I'm not going to be ashamed and embarrassed about it. Like, but this system, like, it wants to standardize everything and make it, like, it's opposite to creativity. And what I mean by creativity is not just the act of creating, but also creative people themselves, which is everybody. Everybody is creative. Everybody. But like it like this world says that creativity and art is worthless. Think about mechanics, think about craftsmen, think about people who like repair cars, think about people who do plumbing, that sort of thing. Those are people who are good with their hands and they like understanding things and, you know, like seeing, they just put their hands on people. And this system says that is an invaluable that is not a valuable skill such that it's worth like 100K a year. That's what this world decides. It decides that it's not inherent, because this is not even an inherent creation, it's a mad creation. And it's one that we're all participating in, and it's not of God because one of us made it, or a bunch of us created this mad creation within God's creation. That's why it's not real, because it's not God's creation, and God's creation is what we are subjected to and what we are limited to because we are here on earth. But God gave us the power to create on earth in a similar fashion as He has created us. But it requires belief in the same way that to create us required His belief first. So yeah, that's my 2 cents. I had a nice flow, but like, yeah, there are a bit more people coming out, but it was pretty empty. Solid. I don't know if any of that made sense, but I trust that something will resonate with someone.